Hi, welcome back to Demo Garage. I'm Steven, and in today's episode I'm going to be tackling the next fiberglass project on my 1973 TVR 2500 bonnet. It's about time for me to replace that ugly farm chicken wire that I keep talking about, and this is going to be the building up of the fiberglass material around the grills so that I can install a flat sheet of, I don't know yet. But we'll get to that. So let me bring you back and I'll show you what I'm dealing with. Okay, I've got the bonnet perched precariously on my workbench. It's actually a lot more stable than it looks. And hey, look, there's the repaired latch mechanisms. And you'll have seen that before you see this video. But actually, you've probably seen some of this before. This is the areas I'm going to fill with some kind of a grill material. And my thought is, since I've already got broken areas like here and here and here, well, I think I'm just going to fill in this gap. I think I'm going to do that with chop strand, with fiberglass resin cured, build all this up, and then probably follow this around by some amount of thickness. And yeah, so if I can get a nice flat surface to mount the new grill material on, then I'll call that a win. So I'll probably do this lower one first, figure out what I'm doing, because that's going to allow me to have some backing for repair of this kind of stuff. And then probably same video. In a second round, I'll build up material thickness all around this one, and that'll give me something to attach the new grill material to. So that's what I have going on in this episode, and let me bring you back when I've got a little bit more to show you. All right, great. Okay, here's the first stage of the fiberglass alteration to the bonnet nose to allow for a flat grill to be installed. And I've decided it was a good exercise and lessons learned. I don't know if you can tell, but I've filled in, this is probably the easiest portion, so it was what I tackled first. So I filled in this crack, much like I have an area to fill in here. This one had a big dip in it. Went pretty well. I taped off a bunch of areas, and it might have helped with cleanup a little bit. There's a couple of areas with some large voids. Well, first off, here's what I did. So I know this is probably not a common exercise, but I bought this fiberglass chop strand, which is, I guess, used to strengthen concrete. Yeah, you heard me, concrete. And I mixed up vinyl ester resin and that material and just started packing it in here. And it went pretty well. I could have had better results, and I think I'm gonna have better results in the future. I think I had too much material mixed up in too small a cup, and I think I should have had a more resin rich mixture. I think what I'm gonna end up doing is I think I'm gonna end up drilling into some of these voids. I mean, the most of this, like, I feel this is completely acceptable here. You know, a little repair here, but for the most part, I think it turned out pretty well. It's going to add backing material for those repairs that I had mentioned earlier. Boy, I hope this is in focus. But so I think I'm going to drill into these voids and then fill them again. Boy, it really was a bunch of sanding. I've had people ask me questions about how I removed this great material. And so I used a die grinder and cut out the majority of the screen. And then I got in there with this Amazon purchased small width belt sander. And between that and a normal Dremel with a sanding disc, and I made use of this multi-tool a lot in cleaning up this fiberglass use. Yeah, so I used all those tools and just kind of dug out the glassed-in mess that was the original grill chicken wire screen that I'm always referring to. Farm chicken wire screen. Anyway, I guess my next step, the whole plan is to make a lip wide enough that I can attach the new screen to in a flat configuration rather than bending it over and glassing it in. That way, if I don't like the look later on, or if it gets damaged somehow, I can unbolt the screen and replace it with new material. So that's the goal. So I need to build up material around all of these edges, and because it is a technique that appears to need practice, I think I'm going to do the next easiest section. I think I'm going to bridge the gap here. I'm going to fill this in, and I think in this time around I'm going to do it in smaller batches. And I hope it's less of a mess with less sanding. But and I guess these are holes for our license plates, so I'll probably put some tape over those and then just fill those in and re-drill them if I decide to run a front license plate. Yes, I know it is a law in California to have a front license plate, but anyway. So my next step is to fill in this area, and then I'm still developing a plan on how I'm going to do this other more difficult area. So let me get to that, and I'll bring you back once I've got a section done that showed some progress and I feel like I can describe what worked and what didn't work. So yep, I'll be back. Okay, here's the next stage. So this glass is still wet, but it actually laid down about the same. I did change the ratio a little bit. I think I could probably learn a little bit better technique of installation. So yeah, so this is what it looks like. I'll probably sand and fill, and I'm probably gonna build up some cardboard edges or something, maybe hot glue them in. So that's how I'm gonna constrain the wet fiberglass for the sides. So I'll bring you back when I have got something to show you. Bye. Okay, so here's the next step in forming the fiberglass lip I intend to attach the grill to. So you saw this part already. I need to add one more application to bring it up to a level surface, but this afternoon I've been playing with arts and crafts. This is how I intend to form the edge around these openings, and don't know if this is going to work. I think it probably will. I've been hot gluing these temporary cardboard barriers in, and I do have a concern about the fiberglass resin soaking into the cardboard, and Well, that wouldn't be that big a deal. It would be a little unsightly. So I am thinking about maybe coating the inside surface of the cardboard with my mold release paste, maybe carefully applying it with some Q-tips or something like that. But I shall bring you back when I've got this laid up, and I'll let you know if this was a good idea or not. All right, bye. Okay, so I've got this cardboard guide filled in. Looks super messy. Yeah, this is the best I could do. So hopefully when I sand this back and expose the cardboard, I'll have a good product. But I see a lot of sanding in my future. So I'll let you know if this works out for me or not. All right, bring you back. Okay, the fiberglass lip is coming along. It's been messy and troublesome, but I think ultimately it's going to be a nice addition, being able to bolt in and replace or change the grill material. So this is what it looks like after the most recent section I've done. You can still see bits of the cardboard that I've hot glued in place as barriers. And so what happens is I just started sanding. I will sand down till I meet the raw edge of the fiberglass opening and the raw edge of the cardboard, and then I'll do my best to kind of pry the cardboard out. I did use Q-tips and put the release wax on that mating surface, so hopefully it won't be that big a deal pulling the cardboard out. It wasn't too bad on the other side. So here's a progress report. This is Friday, and by the end of the weekend I'm hoping to have had the entire lip extended all the way around this upper opening. So let me get back to sanding, and maybe I'll bring it back when I have the cardboard in place for the last section. All right. Okay, here's the last section. It's ready to go. Arts and crafts time, hot glued together. So I'm going to mix up some fiberglass with the chop strand in it and fill this last trough. So I'll bring you back after I've got that. All right, the last section is down, and I think it went pretty well. So all that's left is to let this set up and sand it back. And actually there are a few voids that I'm going to dig out and fill with the thickened resin, but I'm not sure I'm going to bother you with that. I'll probably just bring you back, and I'm getting ready to put in whatever kind of mounting anchors I decide on. All right, this is where I'm at. Okay, so I've got that lip completed, and now I'm patterning the shape that I need to cut from the new grill material. So this is just some thin paper, and I'm gonna probably transfer that onto something a little bit more substantial, this cardboard, and I'll test fit that cardboard on there before I start making cutting on the new wire mesh that I got. So let me bring you back when I'm a little further along. Okay, I'm getting ready to transfer that paper pattern to something a little more substantial. I've cut little holes in the paper and taped it down, so I'll trace around this with an ink pen and then cut it out, and I'll test fit it for size. Bring it back. Okay, I've got the two patterns. I decided to split them rather than try and make it out of one. I just didn't quite have the material, and if I factored in the space between the upper and lower section, then I had enough. So there's the upper one, and then here's the lower one. You can see it. I've got it clamped so hopefully it won't move on me. And I'm just going to work my way around with a small cutoff wheel and a Dremel. And I'm going to leave a little bit of gap around it because I intend to put a rubber trim edge around the outside. So that'll add a little thickness, but yep, I'm going to go ahead and trim these two and I'll be bringing you back. All right, bye. Okay, well, here's a sneak peek on what the trim's going to look like. And I've purchased these fasteners, and my intention is to drill holes in the fiberglass and sink those in and then glass them back up. And so I'll have these around in some sort of a pattern to secure the new grills. So the next step will be figuring out where those go, drilling some holes, maybe just a thickened epoxy to fill them back in. And then I'll be wrapping the perimeter of these trim pieces with some sort of a U-shaped rubber trim. So yeah, that's coming along nicely, and I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel with this project. And for the grill material up here, I think I'm going to install it the way the factory did, by just kind of gluing it in with thickened epoxy. So that's the game plan. I'm getting close to being ready to fiberglass in the pivot frame on this bonnet, and wow, this thing's been out for a few weeks or more, so I'm looking forward to seeing that back on the car. So I'll bring it back when I have something more to show you. Okay, so here's what I have in the way of fasteners for the new grill material. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I've used Forstner bits, and I've drilled down some distance into the fiberglass lip that I created. And then I've got these fasteners that I purchased, Amazon. Everything comes from Amazon. And I've got a few installed already. So what I did was I wetted out the drilled hole, and then I thickened the resin mixture, and then I put a little bit more left in there, pushed it down, and then there was a little bit of squeeze out, and then I filled up the remainder of the cavity and then wiped it pretty flush. And so I've got a number of fasteners going around for both. And then this center section of 3, I'm going to use a black anodized aluminum strip to hold down the bottom edge of the top one and the top edge of the bottom one. So I guess I will epoxy those in, and then I'll probably bring you back when I've got everything installed. So yeah, let me bring you back when I have something more to show you. Okay, here it is. There's the what I believe to be the final grill installation. I currently have left the buried fasteners long, and I'm trying to decide whether I want to shorten those, cut them off or not. Leaving them long will give me options if I want to change the material in the future. If they show, I'm definitely going to cut them off. I won't know until I get this hood or bonnet back installed, but this is exactly what I had envisioned however many weeks ago that was when I started this project. Super excited. I've got a horizontal anodized aluminum piece that spans the bottom of this one and the top of this one, and I'm considering doing another one along this top edge, but it's definitely secure the way it is. I might do that, I haven't decided yet, but this might be one of the last clips that I have for this episode. But I was so excited having that installed, I thought I would get the camera out again and shoot this video and show you the progress. And yeah, I can't wait to see this bonnet back on the car and take some photos of what the new grill material looks like installed. So I'll bring you back when I have more. Hi, another project complete. As you can see behind me, the grills are installed, and I couldn't be happier with how they turned out. So I appreciate you coming along. I hope you enjoyed the clips and learned something from my mistakes. But thanks for coming along. I'm Steven with Demo Garage. Have a great day.